Hi, this is a tech tip on how to upload a calendar into the new Schoolwires website. I'm going to access a athletic calendar. It can be used for any calendar. I keep on accessing until I get to the app, which is this little gray box. I do not want to do any of the outside pieces. I just click on the calendar and I'm going to go to the Import Events calendar. Here you're going to notice that I have already a imported CSV file, and if you're going to update the CSV file, you want to undo this import before you do another import, if it is just updating the pieces that are on here. I'm going to go to the spreadsheet that I sent. It has a start date, start time, end date, end time, title, all-day event, no end time, event description, location, and category. You do not have to use all of these columns. Let's say that I'm going to be entering some events. I'm going to start my start date, and this could be as a name of the month or the number of the month. So let's say that I'm going to do something for March 1st. So I'm just going to type in March 1. And I'm going to hit tab to go to the next piece. If you notice, I have it set up so that it's going to convert it into the proper format. This happens to be a game, so I'm going to say that the game is going to start at 4:30. So I'm just going to type in 4:30 space PM. I hit tab to go to the next piece. Notice that it sets it up exactly the way it's supposed to. End date, well, the end date is on that day, so it's going to be March 1st again. Notice that I didn't put the year, but it still put the year because it's assuming it's in this year. End time, I'm just going to say that the end time for this game is going to be 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. and then I hit tab. Notice that it sets it up properly. Now, when you do the title, you want to be as simple but yet enough details so that when someone looks at that calendar event, they're going to be able to figure out what it is. My suggestion would be to put who the people are that you're playing against and where that game is located. So, for example, on this particular day, Washington Middle School is going to be doing a girls soccer game. So I'm going to do a girls soccer game. And then in parentheses, I'm going to put who the two teams are. So this is going to be Washington Middle School versus Balsam Knolls Middle School. And it is being played at Washington Middle School. So I'm going to put at Washington Middle School and parentheses. Okay, so the all-day event. We know that it's not an all-day event. And no end time, I know that it's not an end time. Event description. Now, if you want, you could put in here girls soccer game and the same information, but the only way that they will see this event description is if they happen to click on the event and look at the description. Same thing for the location. If you want, you can also specify what the location is going to be. All right, so this I'm going to have at Washington Middle School. So I'm just going to put WMS as location. Category. You'll notice that I have included what the different categories are. I'm just going to put the ID number for what this category is. So this is an athletic event, so I'm going to put 3 for my category. All right, so I can now enter my other ones a little bit more quickly. Now, before I get finished, I want to delete these 2 rows because these are just samples and you don't need to have those. So I'm just going to delete these. So I selected those columns. And if I want to add more rows, I can add more columns so that I can add more space. So I'm just going to finish filling in. So I have my events all set up. So what I now need to do is I need to save this as a CSV. So I'm going to go to my file. I'm going to save as. I'm going to specify where I want it to go. Okay, And I'm now going to save it as a CSV, comma delimited. And I'm just going to choose the same file that I created from before. So I'm going to save over what I did from before. And yes, this is just redoing it. And yes. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just X out of this. And I'm going to, in my calendar, import the event. So I'm going to import, choose my file. So I need to scroll for that file. And it was this particular file that I imported. Now what I want to do is do a mapping. So the start date, this is what's in Schoolwires. This is what is on my calendar file that I uploaded. So start date needs to match with start date. Start time is going to match start time. So I'm just going to go and match up all the ones that I had on my spreadsheet. So once I have all of my fields that I have in my spreadsheet matched up, some of them you'll notice I ignore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do next. Now, what I do want to do is I want to save this so that when I reuse this spreadsheet, I don't have to keep on specifying what goes to what. So I'm going to save this as, and I'm going to make it as a default. So I'm just going to save it as my default. So I'm just going to give it a name. Default, and I do next. So you notice it's going to tell me what I'm going to upload. I just click import. I want all my visitors to see the events, and I click import. Okay, so now what I can do is I can look at the calendar, and you're going to notice that there's going to be in the next month, there is the girls soccer. Notice when I mouse over, it tells me who's playing who and at where. Same thing here. So that's why you put the title with as much description as possible. If you're going to use the same file but just add it onto that spreadsheet, then you would want to undo that import from the previous one so that it doesn't duplicate that event. Okay, so just a quick summary. Start date and end date can just be the name or the number. Start time and end time can be just a simple number with the PM or AM afterwards. A title, try to make it as simple but yet as descriptive as possible, so when people mouse over it, they'll be able to understand what it is, as well as selecting if it's an all-day event or no end time. Event description and location will only be seen if you happen to click on that event, and that will come up. Category, you can use the category IDs from here to fine-tune what category that is. Make sure that you save it as a CSV before you upload, and once you upload, you want to remove any of the previous ones if you're going to use the same file so that you will be able to undo what was there and you won't duplicate that event.